What's going on, everybody? Today, I'm getting myself ready to get out and get you guys some unique content. Let's be real. The Chicago Auto Show is making its way to Chicago, so that has inspired me to go out and get you guys some unique car content. So as I pack up my equipment and get ready to head out to provide you guys some unique content, I'm thinking about the Chicago Auto Show and what I might see. But then I started to think to myself, the auto show in Chicago this year doesn't seem to be that intriguing to me. So where can I get you guys some nice, unique content that you would love to see? Well, I think I know a place. So let's get ready to head out so I give you some nice eye candy to look at in this video. Stay with me. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ICNV Drive Station. Today we have a treat for you. It's time to look at the eye candy. We are at Chicago Motor Cars, and they are one of the biggest used car dealers in the Chicagoland area for used exotic cars. And as you see to my right, I'm standing next to a Ferrari, and to my left we have a McLaren. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm in awe. So as we look at this 720S right here, and the orange that I love so much, I'm astonished, I'm amazed, I'm at a loss for words. But what we're about to do, let's get more in depth with these cars. I guess it really wouldn't be a Ferrari if it wasn't red. And as we sit here and look at this F8 Tributo, it's something else, isn't it? As we look at this F8 Tributo, it is an amazing car. And you know, I was a big fan of the 458, but the F8 to me has taken the 458 to the next level. And I can't even lie to you, I never thought I'd be this close to one that I didn't have to pay cash for or even buy on my own. But I really want to thank my man Sebastian for letting me come out to Chicago Motor Cars and take a look around and give you guys just a quick glance at their inventory. So this F8 Tributo is for sale. And if you're in the market for one, why not stop by and get one? But although the F8 Tributo is for sale, you know myself, I'm more of a convertible person. So as much as I admire this car and like it, it's just something I couldn't see myself committing to long term unless I had a convertible in the inventory. As we continue to take this journey with my love-hate relationship with McLarens, I actually like this 720S. It has the perfect amount of carbon fiber accents on the vehicle. When you look at it, the orange is one of its most eye-catching colors, if you ask me. And then when you look at this interior, I know we saw this 765 LT, but honestly, I think a 720S is enough for most people. And it's actually a car, I think, getting closer and closer with it, I would actually like to own. But again, what's wrong with this orange one? It is a coupe. And you know I'm not a huge fan of coupes, so that leads me to look at this other McLaren, which is a 765 LT, but it's convertible. Now, I won't lie to you. If I was to go out and get a McLaren, I believe my wife would co-sign off on this one really quick because it's blue, and blue is her favorite color. And because it's a drop top, it's my favorite type of lifestyle. So this McLaren to me is way more eye-catching. It has even more carbon fiber accents than the previous McLaren we saw. but yet I really like the interior, the Alcantara. McLaren, if you ask me, knows how to build a car, especially a car that can be iconic. Now, there's always that fear of the McLaren breaking down and you not having your car for quite some time. But realistically, if this thing can stay on the road, I think it's probably one of the best cars you can possibly own and one of the most thrilling rides you can possibly experience. I've always been told McLaren's accelerating like no other car on the market. And I've only been inside of an MP12C. So if this thing outperforms an MP12C, which we all know it does, I think this is the McLaren I should look into getting.
I think this is the perfect time to take a quick break. Go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the ICNV Drive Edition community. This is an interactive community, so if you hit me up on any one of my social media platforms, I will do my best to respond to you, and I may make a video based off the topic you bring up. So become a member, subscribe to the channel. For all my military members, both active and veterans, I'd like to give you guys a big salute because we know freedom isn't free. And because of you guys, it's the reason we get to enjoy the things we enjoy and do what we do today. So again, salute to all my military family members, active members, and veterans. But let's get back to this video.
But honestly, what really brought me out to the dealership today was this 911 Turbo S. It is black, and you all know I have no desire to own a black car. But I actually saw this car online, and I reached out to my man Sebastian to come take a closer look at this car. And I have a love-hate relationship with Porsche because I feel like there's a stereotype around Porsche owners, but yet I really like the new look of the 911 series. I'm not a historic Porsche owner. I don't keep up with the historic body styles of the 991, the 991-2. I mean, I can get criticized by Porsche owners or the Porsche community for that. But I will say one thing, Porsche actually made a nice car that caught my attention, and that's why I'm here. I've went to a couple Porsche dealers to try to get a better look at this car, but they never really had one in stock. I was told after the pandemic, it's kind of hard to get Porsches in stock, and that's why it really surprised me that Chicago Motor Cars had multiple, and I say again, multiple Turbo S's in the new body style. I've never really been a fan of matte black or satin cars, but this car right here is catching my eye. And because it's catching my eye, I think I need to take a closer look at it. It is the new generation Turbo S, the all red interior, which is something I really like. I don't know what happened, but this all red interior feel is really pulling me in with any car these days. So if it has an all red interior, it's going to make me take a quick look or a second look. Now you tell me if you think this 911 Turbo S is a hot car to own. Now, what about the GT2 RS? Now, we'll sit there and say this to you guys. This car is a monster. The one car I never ever consider owning is this baby here, the Porsche 911 GT2 RS. I just feel like it's way out of my price range. And this car is a monster. I've only seen it on videos on YouTube, and I rarely see them in person. Honestly, I would say actually since maybe 2019, I've only seen this car in person 3 times. I've seen McLarens more. I've seen Lamborghini Huracans, Aventadors, SVJs, A lot of other supercars that are supposed to be rare and hard to find or hard to see, I've seen them more than I've seen a Porsche 911 GT2 RS. And when you look at a Porsche 911 GT2 RS, the one thing you can sit there and say is you are definitely focusing on performance, and I would say tracking. This is the ultimate track car for Porsche, if you ask me. And because of that, the experience, the look, the interior, the weight savings, it's all there. And that's what you have to understand when you look at this. So if you're looking for a Porsche 911 GT2 RS, stop in at Chicago Motor Cars and take a look at it. As we continue our walk, or should I say our stroll through Chicago Motor Cars, we come across a Lamborghini Huracan. And my man Primetime Zay has a Corvette C8 that's similar to this color, and I'll show it to you in a second. Well, not his car, but one is very similar color. And this to me is what made the exotic cars pop and start catching eyes, is when you start seeing colors like this that you don't see every day, and they're just so unique. Now, I am hugely a fan of the Lamborghini Huracan series. It is the one car I feel like I have to own to complete my quest. And it's crazy because I have opportunities to get my hand on like McLarens and things of that nature, which are amazing cars, and they may even be a better performing car. But there's something about this Huracan that if I just don't get my hands on one, I feel like I haven't lived. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a huge fan of white cars. And this satin white Lamborghini Huracan with the forged carbon interior, the forged carbon rear spoiler, and the ground effects is, I would say, just breathtaking. And I'm not even gonna lie, I love this car. I don't like coupes, but I will own this coupe in a minute. I'm not gonna lie to you, just the way it sits. I'm looking at the wheels. I would want something a little bit brighter just to make the car pop when you see it. I'm not really a huge fan of the racing seats. So to me, that's the only drawback I have from being an owner. But this Performante is breathtaking. And just being around it and seeing it in person took my breath away. Man, Chicago Motor Cars has an inventory that will render you speechless. Now, I would never criticize anybody's vehicle. And I looked at R8s over and over again before I decided to purchase my Corvette C8. Sometimes I regret the decision because, like my man DJ Elevate says, there is no sound like a V10. And I think being a V10 owner and hearing that exhaust all the time is something I really would like to embrace. But when I look at the R8, to me, it's more comfortable than a Huracan. It has a little bit more, I would say, luxury owner feelings. And I think that's because of the Audi heritage that's a part of the car, or should I say that's the soul of the car, that makes it that way. But for me, an Audi R8 is a good option to get, especially if you want that V10 sound, if you can't get your hands on a Huracan or you just aren't in that price range as of yet. And this Audi R8 right here is a beautiful spec, and it's one thing that I love. It is a convertible. So as I walk around this car, I can't help but notice all the carbon fiber, the red and black interior, which I am a huge fan of. And it's one of my favorite colors, which is white. So when I look at this R8, this is literally the spec of the R8 I was looking to get when I was shopping for my C8. And I do regret not pulling the trigger, because although I've enjoyed my C8 ownership, this experience, this ownership would have been something like no other. For now, my Corvette lovers, here we go. The creme de la creme, the Corvette C8 Z06. And like I told you earlier when I was showing the Lamborghini, this is the blue that makes the Corvette owners feel And I agree that it has really stepped up into the supercar category. Not only the performance of this car is amazing, but look at it. We have the aero, we have the Skittles colors, as my friends like to call them. We have the carbon fiber outside, we have the carbon fiber interior, we have the carbon fiber rear spoiler. We have 20 by 21 inch tires, and we have a convertible. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is a convertible, so my eye always goes up, and I think about ownership of a Corvette C8 Z06, but this wouldn't be the color or the car that I would actually go out and buy. And why, you ask? It's the color. I like things that stand out, but this car and this color is such in high demand that it makes your car not as unique as you may want it to feel. At least not my intention. I feel like I would want something that's unique and you wouldn't see every day versus a color that everybody's trying to get. And if they get the opportunity to order it, this color has become one of the most popular colors on the C8 brand. We have the legendary 600 LT. This car right here is the one that everybody talks about. And as you see this coating right here across the back of the wing, that's because this shoots flames. So this shoots out flames. This is the exhaust system for the car. They had to put a coating across the rear spoiler so it wouldn't mess it up. I've always liked the 600 LT, but my man Speed Phenom got one. I felt like I was watching his channel daily as he was engaged in driving this thing. So I can completely agree with his ownership experience. But again, I just don't like these sport bucket seats. That's the one thing I cannot embrace with this LT series, and that's the one thing that would probably force me away from, is I'm really not a fan of the sport competition seats. They have 911 Turbo S colors I've never seen before. I mean, is this truly a Nardo Gray or is it something different? But I love it. It's unique. It's a convertible. Some people say the Turbo S is the one Porsche you may have a great experience driving, but it's not the funnest Porsche to drive, not in the 911 series. You may want to consider a 911 GT3 or definitely the GT2 RS. I feel like the 911 Turbo S is the best of both worlds when it comes to ownership, performance, luxury, and I say again, luxury. That's why I love this car. So, I know I showed you guys the last Ferrari F8, but this one is a Spider. Now this one, I could actually see myself owning. It's a silver car. I've only owned a silver car maybe once in my life, but this drop top and this interior, it takes my breath away. And I think every kid has a dream at some point in their life about owning a Ferrari. And when I look at this Ferrari, it's definitely one that would make me say ownership. And because it makes me want to say ownership, I had to come to look closer, look forward. I'm all about the Spider life. I'm all about the hardtop convertible life. When you look at the F8 in a Spider version, I don't see how you actually can deny this car. How you cannot like this car. How you cannot want to get behind the wheels of this car. I don't have any doubt that this is a high-performing car. I just feel like Ferrari has come a long way. And when they brought out the F8 series, that's when I became really a watcher. The 458 is legendary and classic, but the F8 is what brought my attention to the car market. Now this is pretty much a basic 720S. And I hate to say basic when you talk about a 720 because there's nothing basic about it. The performance is still mind-boggling compared to most supercars. It doesn't have any carbon fiber. It doesn't have the ground spoilers and the aero. But this is the color I like the most when it comes to McLaren. Typically when I search for McLaren, I search for this red. To me, it just pops and stands out. But when you look at this car, this is all I feel I need. Is this McLaren right here. It would be nice to have it in the drop top, but I think I could maybe not be so attached to the convertible life. But let's be real. We all know, my wife knows, I would only keep it for so long before I say I can't drop the top. My best friend Chuck would say, I don't know why you bought it, because you couldn't drop the top. So I guess in a real life scenario, when it comes to me, owning this McLaren, as perfect as this car seems, as eye-catching as this car seems, and as much as I desire to own it, I would need that top to drop. But again, like I said, Chicago Motor Cars, we've seen well over 6 McLarens while we've been here. 2 765 LTs. The inventory is on point. If you're looking for some supercars, you gotta come out to this location. You gotta stop by and take a look at what they have in stock. They have Porsche 911 Targas 4S's. They have countless 911 turbos. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that's what brought me in. I wanted to look at a 911 turbo. And they had multiple 911 turbos. They had colors I hadn't even seen before.
Today was an amazing day, and there is still more to come. But as always, ICNV Driver Session. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the ICNV Driver Session community. This is an interactive community. That means if you hit me up on any one of my social media platforms, I will do my best to respond and possibly make a video about the topic you bring up. But as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you in these streets.